Coffee and Headlines is brought to you by the generous support of our viewers and the following community partners. Best Court Cutting TV, Bluford's Tax Preparation, Bravo's Restaurant Bar, Casa Samtonieta India Lapa, El Rey Lounge de Versalles, Joint Boutique Hotel and Cowork, Motown Brewing Company, Puerto Vallarta Neurofeedback, Puerto Vallarta Owners Reps, and Siam Cocina Thai. Thank you for your support, and thank you for supporting our community partners.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get-together here on Facebook and on YouTube, except for the fact that today we're trying a little experiment. First of all, we are not live today. I have been whisked away by powers beyond me, friendly powers. I've been kidnapped for a weekend adventure. And the second thing is that we are only going to premiere this episode live on YouTube. I will explain why on Monday. On Monday, we'll go back to business as usual, but that is the only difference today. No live on Facebook for you, and no live for anyone, actually, because this is going to be pre-recorded. Anyhow, I have news that I want to share, and I have an excellent interview from Spotlight that I want to share with you today. Let me switch over to the news. And this is a very timely memo you'd think people would have gotten. The 3 beaches in Puerto Vallarta that do not meet sanitary standards for recreational activities due to high levels of caca molecules, it's because the caca molecules are in the water. It's not because of garbage. So while it's nice and dandy that the city is organizing all these cleanup efforts, at the end of the day, if there is a pipe connected to or disconnected, if there's a pipe that is like spewing caca water onto the river, that is a problem. If there is somebody that is just throwing their dirty water, that is a problem. So hopefully, I love it because the beaches are being cleaned, but hopefully the city is also minding the fact that this contamination will not go away unless pipes get fixed. And of course, speaking of pipes being fixed, following the publication of a video on Facebook showing the discharge of sewage water near the suspension bridge in the Cuale River, Sheppard reported that the spill was due to the repair of a siphon and that it will be repaired within the next few hours. This was a couple of days ago. After being questioned by the media, Sheppard Vallarta reported that the siphon caused an intermittent spill because when the infrastructure is damaged, it is aligned with a lot of pressure and so forth and so on. Long story short, I walked past that particular location yesterday. No, that was 2 days ago. No, that was yesterday. I walked past it. It's not far from the Joint Boutique Hotel, and I could see that something had just been repaired. So if there is dirty water so close to the ocean, it shouldn't be a surprise that a crocodile was spotted on the Cuale, but all the way up to El Caloso. This I've never heard of before, but apparently residents of El Caloso neighborhood reported the presence of a crocodile in the river yesterday morning, raising concerns among local residents and commuters. Up by the Caloso area, which, as you know, is very far inland when it comes to crocodiles. This is very, very strange. And the last thing that I have is, according to the most recent National Urban Public Security Survey by the National Institute of Geography and Statistics, the perception of security among residents of Puerto Vallarta registered a decrease of more than 4 percentage points. However, we continue to be among the top 5 safest cities in the country, dropping from 4th place to 5th place. So it's not as safe as it was last week, but it's still safe, according to this poll. Let's take a look at the weather forecast to see what's going on out there. And Snarky Weather says rain stopping in 21 minutes. Woo fucking who. Okay, I'll buy that. It's 28 degrees out there right now. Humidity is a lovely 85%. And our weather forecast for today says that we're going to have scattered thunderstorms through the day with a 43% chance of rain, a high of 32 and a low of 27. Then tomorrow, Saturday, mostly cloudy skies in the morning with thunderstorms in the afternoon, a high of 32 and a low of 26, a 77% chance of rain. And then on Sunday, rain in the morning with thunderstorms in the afternoon, a chance of rain of 75%, a high of 31 and a low of 26. So it looks like we will have a wet weekend, which is very, very exciting. I hope this brings the temperatures down. And, I also want to tell you that yesterday's music appreciation presentation was so much fun. I cannot show you what the crowd is singing to because YouTube will strike me for copyright, but everybody was having such a great time. I was pleasantly surprised with lovely attendance, and everybody loved the Motown music. And now, of course, I am getting ready for my House Rules presentation, which will be all about the rise of house music from a Chicago basement to global beats. This should be a lot of fun, and we'll be talking about this as we move forward. And last in today's agenda is Substack. Substack is this application or this platform online that all of a sudden a number of people are using. It is a place where you can read other people's text or watch their videos, watch their content, or you can create your own. You can have your own platform, your own voice. And of course, this week in the Spotlight, I interviewed 2 lovely friends that have pages that are creating content on Substack. One is Pamela Sheppard. The other one is Paul Christ. And today we're going to hear about Pamela, how she found Substack, how she's putting it to good use to tell stories about her past and share them with her grandchildren. We're going to watch this interview, and I'll come back to say farewell.
Thank you for joining us today. Today is our Substack Day. And today we're going to find out about Substack, what it is, why you should consider it for yourself, either as a reader, and maybe I'm giving it away, that it's a place where you can read, but it's also a place where you can write. And sitting next to me is my dear friend, Pamela Sheppard. How are you, Pamela?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
It is a pleasure to see you. You know, something that I admire about you is that you found so many different ways to keep yourself busy and inspired, whether it is the jewelry that you're wearing, or the fragrances that you make, or the roles you play on stage. You're keeping busy.
I'm very busy. I've always been that kind of person. I just have to pack it in. I only have, possibly 100 years on this planet. It's like I have many, many things to do. So, yeah, no, I love being busy, and I'm blessed by creativity, and I'm very excited about Puerto Vallarta is just like full of opportunities for people. It's amazing that way. In bigger cities, there's going to be a million little people like me, In Puerto Vallarta, there's just me. And so I get to try my hand at all kinds of things, and I've really enjoyed myself, and I will continue to do so.
And you've discovered Substack.
Yes, okay. So here's the Substack thing. My daughter has a Substack account, and her name is Candy Downs, and her blog is Joint Custody. And her Substack, she is a comedy writer. She is hysterical. And it's all about her life living between her ex-husband and the father of her son, who live in 2 nearby towns, who are both best friends. And she has bedrooms in both houses. And her and the son go from one house to the other house during the week, depending on if it's a weekend or whatever. And it's a really unusual arrangement. And it's been going on now for, I think, 3 years. And they all get along great. And it's just this little, very odd little nuclear family. So she has a lot of insight on relationships and unusual families. And it's very, very funny. And actually, my grandson said something super funny the other day. I just have to tell you this. It's like random. But my daughter wasn't feeling good, and she had joint pain in her knees. And my 15-year-old grandson comes in, and she goes, "Oh, my knees are just aching." And he goes, "Oh, is it going to rain, Grandpa?" It's like, oh, God. So it's just funny little family stories. So my 2 daughters both encouraged me. They said, "Listen, you have 10,000 funny stories about our life. We had the wackiest little childhood. You have got to write them down because we don't want to lose them when you're gone." And it's a good point.
Okay, so you're getting to a point where I would like to start. For those people that don't know what it is,
Okay.
what is Substack?
Substack is a platform where you can write and publish your work, and they will publish it to people on your email list, people who subscribe. And the thing that's wonderful about this too is that if you have paid subscribers, they take a percentage and you actually make money. I had no idea I would actually make money, and I actually made money. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy.
You can choose to write and share your whatever you write with whoever wants to see it, or you can charge for the privilege.
Yeah, it's up to them. It's up to the subscriber. Some people just have paid subscriptions, and you have to pay to read their stuff. I am just so excited when anybody reads my stuff. I'd be like, I'd pay them to read it. But yeah, so I started this June 7th and started writing in Substack, and it's a really easy platform to write in. It's a very easy platform to join. And the other thing is other writers will be reading what you write. And so you will develop this little community of people, of fabulous writers and writers who are maybe very similar to you. And you will get input from these other writers on like a chat, kind of like a Facebook chat, but it's all within Substack. And so that is another huge bonus. But you don't have to write to go on Substack. You can go on Substack and just read and be a subscriber. And if you're a subscriber, whoever you subscribe to, they put their work into your email inbox.
So I could, because I get notices of what you write.
Right.
I don't remember exactly where, because that's the kind of brain that I have. But people can subscribe to what you're writing, and people can discover other writers maybe?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, definitely. There'll be suggestions for you. If you like this writer, you might like these other writers as well, because there's definitely genres. And it's expanding very, very quickly. And there are people who do nothing but cooking things. There are people who do nothing but horror. There are people who do nothing but naughty stuff. I don't know how to get into that, and I haven't tried yet.
Well, I mean,
but erotica.
I'm curious to explore both angles of the adventure, the reader angle and the writer angle. Let's talk about the reading angle first, because not everybody wants to write. I would imagine that more people would be happy to read somebody else, and some people may not feel like they have it in themselves to write their own stuff. How has your world changed through reading stuff on Substack?
Well, now I read my daughter's versions of her childhood. This, I'm like, she's like, oh yeah, my mom, she always had a big bubbling pot of soup and like 25 kids and chickens running in and out. You know, it was just chaos. And I'm like, excuse me, we did not have 25 chickens running in and out. We only had Sophia Maria, and she was just in to have a meal of dog food. It's like,
So do you actually get to comment on where?
yes.
Uh-oh. Does she comment on yours?
oh yes,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So we have, different versions. And so this, I was so honored yesterday because this one writer posted that, oh wow, I'm really, really enjoying this mother-daughter powerhouse writing team of Pamela Vallarta and Candy Downs. I was like, I'm so touched by that.
Has your relationship with your daughter changed as a result of the two of you writing on Substack?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, because I ask her a lot of questions, and she asks me a lot of questions now, back and forth that maybe we wouldn't have shared, because we've opened up this whole, a lot of times we just seal off our past. And when you seal it off, maybe because of trauma, maybe because you had a rotten childhood or whatever, when you seal it off, you also seal off all the good stuff. You throw it all away with the good and the bad. And this way, I can pick and choose what I put in there. And quirky, funny, interesting things about our lives, and leave out things that were miserable, traumatic, and hard. And I put in a few things that that were hard. You have to in order to make a story make sense. But I don't drag my reader through that.
Okay, let's talk about writing then. How has your life changed since you started writing on Substack?
I only get 5,000 steps a day instead of 12. Because I've never sat still that long. It takes me to write like basically one-page blog or a couple of page blog. It takes me probably 3 hours.
Do you have a set quota or goal to?
No, I don't. And like Candy, she'll come out with maybe one a week. I have been in the last, because I've only been doing it 6 weeks, I've got 37 blogs. And so that it is because it just started pouring out. So I probably in the future I'll quit driving everybody nuts in their emails with all these blogs. But
I would imagine there are controls on how often you get notified or like.
Well, they get published. You can schedule your publishing. Which is really nice because if I feel particularly prolific during a week, I can write 6 blogs and then have them come out in different times throughout the next few weeks. So I will get more controlled. But right now I'm so excited and I'm just gobbling it up. And I think of something new every day that I want to share. And so, yeah, I've kind of been all over the place in my life. I've been a baby drag queen, and I've been a revolutionary, and I'm not writing the stuff about being a revolutionary, however.
Why not?
Because of political repercussions.
Huh?
Well, at least till I get back from my trip to the U.S. and I know I'm safe in Mexico. Then maybe I'll do it.
Now, you said something when you signed up for this interview. You said something that caught my attention. You said you are writing on Substack and it's blowing up. What is blowing up for you in Substack?
Well, blowing up for me is not blowing up for someone else because I've now seen writers that have 25,000 subscribers, and that is not me. But I expected nothing. You know, I was writing for my children and my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren to come, so that they would have a historical account of what was that grandma like, you know, what was her life.
What was she up to?
Yeah, and I didn't have that from my mom and my grandma. I wish I could go back in time and ask them so many questions about what their lives were like during the time period. I can't. And so I'm going to gift this to my future generations. But, okay, so I started on June 7th. So what has that been? 6 weeks, 7 weeks? And within the first week, I had 35 subscribers, and I had a bunch of paid subscribers, and I made $100, and I was like, what is this? I had 1,600 reads right off the bat.
I love it.
So, and that has continued. Now I'm up to, I think, 66 subscribers, and it stays at about 15 to 1,600 reads.
What would you recommend to someone that may be on the fence about Substack as a writer, not as a reader, but as a writer? If what would you recommend to someone who is thinking about it and maybe not completely decided to do it?
Just go into it and do a post and see what you think. It's a way to preserve your writing as well, because I've had some trouble with preserving my writing in emails or preserving my writing online, and your computer goes down. I lost a lot of work because I had to change computers, and I didn't buy into the iCloud and preserve everything the way I should have. So I actually print out a lot of stuff, so at least I have it. But yeah, even Facebook, it was like I lost some material there. So that's one good thing about it. The other thing is just test out the water. And you can go back in and go back to that post, and if you want to change it, you want to edit it, and then you want to re-release it, you can restack it. It's called restacking it.
Oh.
And you can do that at any time.
We will be featuring your Substack address once we author and edit the whole thing. But if I was to ask you in a short statement, what are you writing about, what would the answer be?
I'm writing about my life and how that progressed, and my life in the Pacific Northwest particularly, because it's the Pacific Northwest has changed a lot since the 1950s and 60s. So I've got a whole section that's all about Seattle, and a whole section that's all about Vashon Island. And right now I'm working on Point Roberts, Washington, and wading out at the beach and catching crabs with my bare hands and picking blackberries, and my kids going, oh God, not crab again tonight.
Well, it is always nice to see you doing something that keeps you inspired and keeps you entertained. And I trust that a lot of people will want to read you. Is there anything that we're missing?
No, I don't think so. But yeah, Pamela Vallarta, Substack.com. That's all you have to put in, and it'll take you right there.
Excellent. Well, there you have it, guys. This is our first of 2 Substack interviews today. Pamela, thank you so much for joining us.
So much.
And I look forward to reading more of your adventures.
All right. Thank you.
And this is Coffee and Headlines for today. Tomorrow will be pre-recorded as well. Tomorrow we will feature the second Spotlight interview with Paul Christ, and we'll be back on on Monday. What am I talking about? Thank you so much for allowing me to be a little scattered this morning. Thank you so much for, whoops, wrong button. I'm all over the place today. Why? Maybe because it hasn't rained. Anyhow, I'll see you back live on Monday, but come back tomorrow for another great interview. This one will be with Paul Christ. Have a good one.